how we were even brought into Confederation usually does it.
Mm.
So a lot of people will argue with us now and say, well, you negotiated this, and so too bad, so sad, you signed on the dotted line. Well, no, actually we didn't. The reason that Alberta and Saskatchewan were created in 1905, both of them, there's the Alberta Act of 1905 and the Saskatchewan Act of 1905. The reason that they were created at that time was because there was this big boom that was coming over here, and the people that were moving here, predominantly from the States, but from everywhere, were saying, it's really hard to get anything done around here when there's no politicians to put their stamp of approval on anything. We need to change this up. And they had this idea to create the province of Buffalo out of Alberta and Saskatchewan that we know today. But Ottawa had a canary over it because they knew that if our numbers, and the people were coming from everywhere, right? They knew that if our population outgrew theirs, then the balance of power would shift to the west from the east, because that's how the Westminster system is designed. Whoever has the population has the power. And so that's why they divided it in half and literally colonized us. There was no negotiation. It was, this is how it's going to be. Too bad, so sad. We're appointing you each a premier, a liberal one, by the way. And this is why I'm completely confused. All the folks that are tearing down statues, having a meltdown over colonization, to be on our side. They really should. So when I get to that, and then the light bulb goes off and go, oh my gosh, yeah, we haven't had a say ever since. That's the first moment where people realize it's working exactly as designed. It's working exactly as it's supposed to. And then when I keep walking them through how our senators are chosen, how our MPs are chosen, is it supposed to be representation by population? That's the second bit. Well, okay, let's check that out. And you saw that, Mike, right? I show all the numbers of how many people per senator across, what do I pick, 5 provinces. And then I do the same thing for the MPs. And in a room of 500 people, you won't hear a noise.
Yeah.
Because everybody's just looking at the screen in absolute disbelief that this is what we live in.
Yeah, that's what I was. I mean, I kind of knew the numbers. I probably could have rattled off something close, but like just to see it laid out like that, to see the percentages and the average number of people per MP and per senator, it's like you mentioned you cannot negotiate your way out of that. You'll never be able to, just mathematically.
Well, you need 7 provinces and then the representation of 50% of the population through parliament. And what are the chances of that happening already? Like, you've created a power imbalance and then you require power to be leveraged within that imbalance to change the power structure. So you've created a no-win situation from within. And it seems like the other thing I lean on in some of these conversations, and you'll get people who'll get NDP supporters saying, well, the Conservatives are corrupt, or this group's corrupt, or they did this, or they did that. And I'll ask them, why is our system designed in a way that enables corruption? If you can agree that they're corrupt, then what you're saying is that right now the system, it gives full license for people to do that, or it's so easily corrupt, like it becomes so easily corrupt that we don't have really a way of stopping or holding everything to account. So if that's the case, Alberta independence is a way for us to revise the system, put those safeguards in place, those checks and balances, and pretty much anybody who's complaining about the corruption, left or right, doesn't matter what colored shirt they're wearing right now, like wouldn't that be a good opportunity for us to lean on?
It should be. Yeah, it should be. The other thing that I also say when I give my talks is with regards to opening up the Constitution, and you're right? You need 7 premiers making up 50% of the population. Imagine what could happen if they said, yeah, sure, we'll do that. And mathematically, we don't have the numbers and they make it worse for us. What are we going to do? Why would we even risk that? It makes no sense. It makes no sense because we already know how it's going to end. And in the Westminster system that we're in, it's on purpose top down. That's how it's a monarchist type structure because it's from England. So of course it is. And so even the people that have an issue with the monarchy should be on our side so that we have a chance to correct all of these wrongs that have been done to us for over 100 years.